Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my hobby of comic books. This is Spider-Man Life Story number 3. This is the 80s, and it's a pink cover. I like it though. These covers are very simple. They're usually just one color and black and white, and it's good. Like, it's a simple design. But this is Chip Zdarsky and Mark Bagley, and if they're sticking you with Mark Bagley, they probably like your writing style. Look, a useless page. I never read these, and I don't think anybody else does, because why the hell would you? So this is a jump forward. This is the 80s. In the last issue, it ended in 1978, and this is in 1984. And this is where they're smashing together the major storylines, which were, holy crap, which were Peter getting the symbiote, Secret Wars, and Kraven the Hunter. It starts out with Mary Jane in the hospital. She's about to give birth to their kids, and Aunt May is like 90 and she's gone senile, and Peter Parker's been missing. Now, because he's off on Battle World and he's doing this, he's fighting and stuff. In this issue, the major change, and there's a problem with this comic book, a major problem that's probably been overlooked by everyone, but not by me. Because in this issue, in the 80s, Peter Parker is the tech bajillionaire and CEO of Parker Industries, which I always thought was absolutely idiotic and totally pointless. Spider-Man is supposed to... Peter Parker is supposed to be an everyman. He's supposed to be the dude on the street, the man with the average problem, living an average life. And making him essentially Tony Stark is stupid. Absolutely stupid. And in this comic, it does... He's supposed... I'll get to it. I'll get to it in a minute. But he's in his 30s. He's a tech bajillionaire. And he shouldn't... I don't like that he's super smart science genius guy. Like in the comics, he was very adept with science, but he wasn't Reed Richards. He wasn't Dr. Octopus, you know? Like he would sometimes defeat people with science, but it wasn't massive. But the outfits they're giving him in this are pretty cool. Like in the last one he had armor, and in this one it looks like he's more armored up. Of course he gets the symbiote. Let's skip a few pages here. He returns home, and this is very truncated. Like, the stories are really smashed together, and it kind of jumps, you know, from moment to moment to get all these stories to work. But it does work. I mean, it's put together very, very well. Mary Jane has had twins. Aunt May's senile. He learns that his symbiote is alive and attaching to him. But in the comic book, in this issue, what ends up happening is Aunt May ends up leaving, and she's like she like in this issue and the last issue, she just stares off into space, and here she's just staring off into out the window. But in this issue, she ran off with Peter and Mary Jane's twins, and she was found by the police just staring into a window. And the whole point is that Mary Jane's problem is that Peter is never around, and he's not there to help out. He's not there to take care of Aunt May. She's not there to take care of the kids, because he's always off being Spider-Man. And it's a big burden on her to have to take care of these kids and Aunt May. And if you look at the art, like, oh, they got a little kitchen, and they got a little this, and they got a little living room, and there's a little hallway. I mean, Peter's got like a science lab in it, and like, it's really small. But here's the thing. They're supposed to be rich. Harry Osborn left Mary Jane with millions. And Peter Parker is the CEO, or he owns Parker Industries. So they're both incredibly rich. I mean, he's got a lab in a building that I assume he owns. Why don't they hire help? Why doesn't she get a nanny to watch the kids and have a live-in nurse take care of Aunt May. Because she suggests to Peter that she goes into a home so that she's not a burden, so that she doesn't run away with the kids again. But it's like, and he, of course, flips out. No, absolutely not. She raised me when my parents died. She took care of me when no one else would. Then take care of her, Mary Jane says. And the kids are crying in the background. But, like, they're rich. Hire somebody to take care of her. Like, there should not be... People with money have problems, but money fixes a lot of problems. And it would seem like that would surely help. But you also have this. Spider-Man leaves Mary Jane after their argument. Kraven shows up in the black suit. And here Spider-Man's wearing he was wearing the symbiote costume. And he took it off, and now he's in the regular suit for some reason. For some reason, he's not in the super armor suit. He's just in the plain old thing. But of course, the Mark Bagley art is just fantastic. I don't like that Mark Bagley's faces, like all the men's faces, look like all the other men's faces, and all the women's faces look like all the other women's faces, more or less. But other than that, man, this dude, he's fucking great. But anyway, so they truncate the whole Kraven the Hunter thing. He gets buried. But the twist is that the symbiote escapes and goes to save Peter. God, War of the Realms, who cares? But the symbiote goes, and you gotta like this, it's got Bagley on a gravestone, this Zdarsky on a gravestone. But the symbiote goes and saves him. He comes out, and he goes, and he's beating up freaking Kraven, and then he becomes Venom. Which I like this Mark Bagley drawing Venom like this. This is like an older school Venom, where it's like, it was Eric Larson, I believe, who gave him like the crazy jaw with all the teeth everywhere and the spit and stuff. And that's kind of how he's drawn now. But I like the Venom with the smaller mouth and the teeth. But Peter, having known that the symbiote was alive, he already went and like prepared, and he gave Mary Jane like a gun to take it out, just in case he loses control. And that's exactly what happens. She shoots him, gets the symbiote off, spoiler alert, and then she divorces him and moves out. And of course, Peter is just left alone with his aunt. His kids and his wife are gone. He's incredibly sad. I'm trapped in a war of my own making, and it never ends. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. There's a lot of drama in this. Chip Zdarsky is writing drama, and it's really good. He's getting better at the quips, too. There are no quips in this, but... And so, if you haven't read Kraven the Hunter, or Kraven's Last Hunt, which most people consider to be like the best Spider-Man story, I think The Death of Jean DeWolf is the best Spider-Man story. It is the best Spider-Man story. I've quantified it. It's the best. But if you know Kraven's Last Hunt, he kills himself at the end. And here, he's about to do the same thing. But the Venom symbiote shows up, which is very interesting. It doesn't give you the end, though. It doesn't say the end. And then we're going to jump forward to the 90s. I'm going to guess that this is going to have a lot to do with the Clone Saga and Venom and Carnage. Like, those are going to be the main things. Those are the main storylines from the 90s. Or at least the ones that really mattered. Other stories are just kind of like there. 90s Spider-Man. It was good for a while, but you know how it is. But this is very good. Get on this series. Don't overlook this. It's $4.99 an issue. I didn't realize. But this is a good one. Check it out. That's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe if you like my channel. I got another channel. It's called The Real Fuzzy Pickles. I'm going to change that name. I don't like it. I chose it because it was from Earthbound. But on that channel, I talk about video games. Check it out. Subscribe to that too if you want. Yeah, I just do stuff. Anyway, take care. Bye-bye.